Another big game day in the capital city of Connecticut as the Friars and the Huskies are ready to tip it off. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Criqui with Bucky Waters. Providence a confident team right now. The Friars have won 4 in a row, and you may remember they beat UConn on the road last season. Meanwhile, the Huskies have a problem. Their tremendous guard Ben Gordon's going to play, but he needs a face mask today, Bucky.
Yeah, well, he can't hide. He's Mr. Outside for the Huskies and a super talent. He broke his nose in the Georgetown game 3 games ago, played against Carolina and Pitt without a mask. But today, we're going to see the mask marvel. What an incredible athlete. He plays just outstanding, and he plays with fearless abandon. Whether this mask will affect him today, we'll see. He sure isn't a handsome guy in that thing. It probably will affect his vision.
One guy who's really ready to go is Emeka Okafor, the big man for UConn, who leads the Big East in rebounding, block shots, and field goal percentage. A tremendous talent.
Yeah, he's arguably the player of the year in the NCAA, but today he's Mr. Inside for the Huskies. What a talent, what a force. He doesn't get credit for all the things he affects, all the change shots, all the walks, just his presence. And as we see a comparison here between these two terrific juniors, you see the Okafor shooting percentage is higher. He plays inside, whereas Gomes has taken his game to the three-point line. And Gomes is not a shot blocker. He kind of plays close to the floor, kind of like Larry Bird. A good one.
We'll be coming back to Hartford with the starting lineups and the opening tip-off in a moment. This ESPN Plus game is brought to you by Hyundai. Only Hyundai has America's best warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Hyundai win. By Cooper Tire, proud to be the official tire of the Big East Conference. Cooper Tires, don't give up a thing. And by Pontiac, fuel for the soul. And welcome back to the Hartford Civic Center. It's Providence and UConn as we look now at the starting lineups for today's game. Providence going with Gomes, who's number 3 in scoring, number 4 in rebounding in the conference. Douthit, the shot blocker. Freshman Brewington, Cobb, and McGrath in the back line. And for Connecticut, Brown starts up front along with the tremendous force in Emeka Okafor. There is Tim Welch, the head coach of the Providence Friars, now in his 6th season as coach of the Friars. He said, we really found out what we were made of after we lost those 2 close games and then came back to win 4 straight. And here's Jim Calhoun, a national championship coach in '99, and he could have another national title by the end of this season. UConn is that good. So deep they can match you in waves. But Providence, as mentioned earlier, did beat the Huskies on the road last year at Storrs, Connecticut. Here is Providence with the ball, and sophomore point guard Donnie McGrath will direct the offense. Gomes out high. He'll go out high, down low. Gomes is coming off a game in which he had 5 of 6 threes. That was against Seton Hall on Wednesday night. Here is Douthit putting it up. Shot doesn't go. Okafor, leading rebounder in the conference, gets it up court to Ben Gordon.
Douthit very timid on that shot. It was wide open, a great pass. You need to flush those. Again, the presence of Okafor.
Kalik Brown, who started all 4 seasons at point guard for the Huskies. Working outside, down low they go, and up the ball goes, and boom, the freshman puts it back. Jim Calhoun said before the game, asked him to assess Boone. He said he's been a rock. He does everything right. And when you're as smart as he is, he brings that to every game. The kid had like 1,300 SATs.
Yeah, all players like to look up to their players, especially when they're 6'11".
But Boone has started every game as a freshman. Here is Douthit shooting. Can't get it to go, and there's a bump underneath. Now they're going to rule the ball touched over the top, and it's going to come inbounds to the Huskies. As the officials for today's game are Reggie Greenwood, Will Bush, and Frank Scagliotta. UConn, as you know, Bucky, wants to run. Providence wants to make it a half-court game. Here's a steal by Gomes.
Well, the key is Providence would like to run as well, but once they get into half-court set, they want to make 1 extra pass. That's not a shot that Tim Welch wants. When they beat Connecticut here last year, actually it was in Storrs, they made that extra pass, and they kept Connecticut on defense.
Boone back to the basket, rebound to Douthit. And the Friars push the ball up.
You take quick shots against the Husky and they run it out.
We're taking quick shots, and that one, that's Brewington. He's quite a story. He is hearing challenged, does not have full use of his hearing abilities, but he's starting as a freshman. This is his 4th straight start.
Looked like sonar on that shot.
2-3 zone that Providence uses most of the time. In effect here, Denham Brown, one of the best shooters in the conference, can't get it to go.
Both teams a little tentative here, a little stiff. It's a big game.
Real big. Providence comes in a half game behind UConn in the Big East standings. The Huskies are 3-0 in conference play. Providence is 3-1. Gomes with a beautiful move to the basket and a basket interference call against Okafor, so they'll score the goal for Gomes, who averages 19.9 points a game.
This is the difference in Dothert and Gomes. Yeah, he saw Okafor, but he stayed right with it, took it to the rim, and forced Okafor to make the goaltend.
UConn has beaten Providence 9 of the last 11 meetings. Okafor looks for a cutter, nobody there. Shot is short. Douthat rebounds again. Here's Sheku Kaba with the ball. When he scores double figures, the Friars usually win. He's averaging 10 a game. Douthat heads down low, and Reggie Greenwood gets him on a travel call on the spin move, and the ball is back to the Huskies.
Tim Welch again, he's just imploring his kids, come on, take your time. We'll take the break, we'll take transition, and then make them work. Make that extra pass. That's how we won up here last year. Actually, they exchanged road wins. Connecticut went down and thumped them in the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence.
And that was Denham Brown, who's scored 20 points 5 times this year, including the last game against Pittsburgh, the Monday night 3-point win over the Panthers. A 51% field goal shooter, Denham Brown, and it's a 5-4 game Providence. Douthat left free. Can't get it to go. The rookie Boone rebounds up court to Talik Brown, who is a very good long-range passer. A lot of times he won't dribble the ball down court. He'll throw a 40 or 50-foot pass. That time he goes end-to-end and banks it in, and the Huskies take the lead.
Talik, much maligned, but a real warrior. He has really stepped up his game now that they're in the league play. The senior plays tough.
A week ago, the Huskies were #1 in the country. They're now down to #4 as Gomes goes to the basket. Providence has not beaten a top 10 team on the road in 14 years. The last time the Friars beat a top 10 team on the road was the win over Syracuse back in January of '90. Ben Gordon, face mask and all bucket, contending for the ball and getting it.
Yeah, but boy, unless somebody opened the windows here, that thing didn't come close to iron.
McGrath comes up with the ball, gets it up court to Kaba. Ben Gordon defending. Down low to Gomes. He's almost unstoppable one-on-one. Just an unbelievable talent. He dishes this time off the baseline. It caroms out. Boone rebounds again, the freshman.
Nobody on the board for the Friars.
Down low to Okafor with the left hand. He gives the Huskies the lead back by 1.
Well, the big train run in the middle of the floor. What a terrific advantage that is, and great pressure on your transition defense. Providence not only has to get back, they got to contend with that horse in the paint.
That was what Jim Calhoun pointed out as the #1 key to the game. We said we've got to get the ball down low to Okafor against their zone, and now to the basket go the Friars, and they get points in the paint and take back the lead.
A lot of talent on this floor, Don Criqui. A lot of talent. And one of the best players, Providence, Rob Sanders, has been out for 6 games. He broke a couple of fingers way back, and they've been on this incredible run without him. How much better they will be the time that Dwight Brewington and these other players are getting when he comes back. They'll be something.
Yeah, Sanders broke 2 fingers in the Virginia game on January 6th. They hope to have him back in a week. Right now, the Friars leading without him. At Hartford, Connecticut, the Providence Friars lead the game 10-8 as Ryan Gomes, their standout junior, has hit on all 3 of his field goal attempts. He has 6 of the Friars' 10 points.
That Connecticut bench holds a little conference. Jim Calhoun and his assistants, George Blaney, Tom Moore, and Clyde Vaughn, they meet for a good 1/3 of the timeout before the chief minister of war there, Jim Calhoun, goes in and gives them the word. It's a great staff. Stability in the coaching staff has been a hallmark here at Connecticut.
Well, Jim Calhoun's now in his 18th season with many more to come. Now they go down low, and Talik Brown, who's been shooting well, misses inside. Here comes Douthit, the big guy, bringing the leading the break. McGrath pulling up at the free throw line. He can't get it to go. Gomes again. Such a good passer among his other attributes. That time Kava's pass is saved inbounds, and Brewington sets up Kava for the three-point try. Rebound to Douthit. Friars out-rebounding the Huskies by a wide margin early in this game. Out-rebounding them 9-4.
That was one of the issues, I think, in the Providence huddle, and that is, come on, let's get on half court and get on that board. A great save started all this. And there with the second chance. Watch this move. Oh, double clutch, fakes the pass, which he does well. Takes it to the paint. What a talent.
Gomes, as you know, Bucky, is the leading free throw shooter in the Big East. With that free throw made, he now is hitting 88%.
Great line on this guy. Was a 270-pound ordinary high school player from Waterbury, Connecticut. Two schools offered him a scholarship. Siena, when Paul Hewitt was there before he went to Georgia Tech, and Providence. And now look what he has molded himself into, of course with good coaching. But when a guy improves this much, a lot of it's from the inside.
And now a sharpshooter. That was Tuka Cody, who just came in. Yeah, Gomes has just been a remarkable player. Hit 5 of 6 threes in the last game, the win over Seton Hall.
Talk about him improving year to year. Tim Welch says, I see him improve game to game. That's a very strong quote.
Well, his own coach, Tim Welch, says he actually does get better every practice. He said there's no downside to his game. He's an excellent passer, shooter, rebounder, floor general. And he's always played, Bucky, with the poise of a senior from the time he was a freshman.
Boy, easy entrance into the middle of that zone, which the Friars don't want to see. Quick hand saved them.
This is Villanueva, the freshman, throwing it away, intercepted by McGrath. Kava comes up. He has a lead man on the right. That is Gomes to the basket. He is just good.
Well, he's on my short list for Player of the Year. I know Okafor is a contender for National Player of the Year, but Gomes is as good as it gets in this conference. What a matchup today.
And the upset-minded Friars are on a 7-0 run against Connecticut to take a 14-8 lead. And now Connecticut comes down and scores.
Well, that's coming out of that timeout. Tim Welch gave him the word. They calmed it down a little bit, went to half court, and got on the offensive board.
The Connecticut success story under Calhoun. The cornerstones are defense and rebounding, and they're really extending the defense out now. They want to take away the three-point attempts. You want to get playing time for Calhoun. Play hard, rebound, and defend. That's the first things he looks at.
Yet Douthit finally hitting that shot. That's a new dimension to his game. He's been hitting that shot on the elbow and opening up the middle for Gomes to go down inside. When you get a high-low with two guys that size and that talent, it's very difficult to defend. There's no weak side help. Let's see that high-low. There, it started on the break. Villanueva threw it away. Watch the finish by Gomes using the left hand, and that's a new addition. Starting to use the left hand, stretching his game out to 3 points. The progress continues.
The foul on Sheku Kaba as Talik Brown goes to the free throw line. In the last 9 games, Brown has had 70 assists and just 18 turnovers. He is shooting from the field 59% plus in Big East play. This senior guard from Queens, New York, has been a tremendous contributor. Not a big scorer over his career. He comes in averaging just 5.5 points a game, but he's the table setter, guy that makes everybody else better.
That's great toughness to this guy. Sometimes he gets going too fast. You'd like to see him pull up a little more, but the heart is there, the experience is there, the toughness is there, and he does indeed set the table. Pressed that time by the Huskies, picking up after the made free throw. Well handled by the Friars.
Made them both, even though he came in shooting only 52% free throws to Talik Brown. But back at the other end, Douthit scores quickly. He now has 4. Another 6-point lead for the Friars.
So far, Providence not extending that zone. They're packed in there pretty good, and that's respect for Okafor. They got to prove it from outside before they stretch it.
Gomes with the rebounded miss. Gomes averaging almost 10 rebounds a game in addition to his 19.9 scoring.
Villanueva now guarding Gomes. That could be a mismatch in terms of experience.
Down low they go, a reject, but there's going to be a foul call that'll send Cody to the free throw line, where he is a very good free throw shooter and also a very good field goal shooter. Cody from Finland shooting almost 53% from the field this year.
Tim likes to bring him off the bench. They started him for a while, especially when they got caught up in trying to cover for Rob Sanders' absence. But he really likes him coming off the bench. Feels like he can put him at any position on the floor. At 6'9", that's a valuable asset. And he's shooting 77% from three. Whoa! At 6'9".
All Europeans can shoot. A lot of them can't dribble, but they all can shoot.
Well, Chris Anren at 6'7" from Sweden, also a valuable player off that bench.
A good start for the Friars as they jump out to an 8-point lead. Coach Calhoun was concerned about this coming in. Back at Hartford, Don Criqui with Bucky Waters. Ryan Gomes off to a fast start. He has 11 points to lead the Friars to this early lead. There's the active winning coaches. Bob Knight with 822. Jim Calhoun moving up the list with 662, just behind Jim Boeheim. Orangemen have a big game today against
boy,
Pittsburgh.
they do. Yeah, they do. Pitt at the Dome. This guy's won a lot of games. He was a heck of a coach before he came to Connecticut, but he has just been a colossal success here. Again, no change in the Friar defense. Packing in, trying to cut off Okafor. There's Gordon again, up in the air with no place to go. Vision.
Down to McGrath, who lays it in. And it is a 10-point lead for Providence. And Jim Calhoun wants to stop the music here. Talk this thing over.
Providence on a 15-4 run over the last 4 minutes. There's Gordon getting up in the air, which he shouldn't do under any circumstances. And here the break of the Friars coming down the floor. Well handled, under control. Another look. Against the zone, you should only leave your feet to shoot. And the mask obviously is covering some openings there. He's just got to be a little more cautious and know exactly what he's going to do. That's like the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, if he can sing, he might get a role.
Well, it's a big budget. He's got a whole mask. The Phantom just had a half of one. But what's interesting, he got an elbow in the Georgetown game, and it was broken in 3 places, but he went on because of a time thing. The Huskies lost at North Carolina by 3 on a Saturday, and then on Monday beat Pitt, who had not been beaten in 18 games, here by 3. And so with a few days, he had his surgery on Wednesday, and now the mask. So we'll see what it affects. Right now, Providence is not feeling sorry for anybody.
They are not. And Connecticut is a major achievement to beat Connecticut in this building. The Huskies have won 19 straight games here at the Hartford Civic Center.
One of their bugle. Here's a nice close-up here. Ryan Gomes says, no, no, no. That wasn't a return to sender. That was an autopsy. You are not making this layup. Let me see what you do from the free throw line.
Denham Brown at the free throw line. What a good player he's been, averaging 14 a game, but he had 20 in the win over Pitt on Monday night, shooting 51% threes this season, 29 of 56.
Most of that came down as a result of his experience with the Canadian national team. He's out of Toronto. 2-2-1 press now. The Huskies trying to get into transition. They're not happy at all with the way they're attacking on the half court.
Donnie McGrath, and here is Gomes, the first option in their offense.
Denham Brown now trying to take over Gomes. They haven't contained him. They haven't even slowed him down. And he has been so judicious. He hasn't forced anything as Gomes. He's let it all come to him.
There's his first 3 of the day. Leaves it short, and it will come inbounds to the Huskies, down by 8 in one of their home buildings, the Hartford Civic Center.
the Huskies have had a propensity for very slow starts. I remember doing a Boston College game in stores last year. Boston College just came in and kicked them all over the place. They just never got going.
Beautiful turnaround move there, though, by Okafor. He's got to get going to get these Huskies back in it more. They're down by 6.
Again, trying to hurry the Friars up, trying to get some transition. When the Huskies are running, they're as good as it gets.
Friars will be content to run some clock with a half-out offense. Offensive rebound. He gets about 4 of those a game. George Blaney said anybody who gets 4 offensive rebounds a game is a truly outstanding player. Gomes getting those. And here's going to be a push-off called on Douthit.
Well, we talked about the lack of offensive rebounding early in the game by Providence. Here's Gomes coming down with one, and that ball rimmed out. That's the kind of foul you want from your big guys, though. Marcus Douthit coming over the back. Look at this. Talk about efficient.
You got to get him more shots. He's hit 4 of 5.
More touches.
Beautifully done off the dribble. Jump shooting from 10 feet off.
At every opportunity now, Connecticut really trying to make this game up-tempo.
Connecticut bringing pressure. Providence has been breaking it. McGrath way off mark shooting. Wouldn't have himself set. So McGrath struggling with his shot. And Tim Wells sees what was a 10-point lead not that long ago cut to 4 as the Huskies are on a 6-0 run.
Donnie McGrath has had such great looks. I mean, every one. He hasn't forced anything. That first one was probably a little quick, but the inside out is working beautifully for the Friars. Gomes and Douthit are punching it out. He's got a great look. He just can't drain it.
McGrath, his problem last year as a rookie, a freshman, when he started every game was he didn't take enough shots. They tried to get him to shoot more in an era when most players are thinking shoot first, then shoot second.
Yeah, it's a real small menu. Somewhere in the second or third page, they'll look for the pass. That's going. Oh, the great mid-range game pulls up, but no, the big guy, Marcus Douthit, says, "Out of here, return to sender."
In the upset of Connecticut last year, Douthit had 9 blocks. Here is the next big star at Connecticut slamming it down, Josh Boone. He is a major league talent. UConn now on an 8-0 run in the last 2:20. They cut it to 2. It was 10 not that long ago. Gomes puts Boone in the air, but Boone defending well. Denies a shot. Cody can't get it to go. Rebound. Down come the Friars. Denham Brown to Huskies. Denham Brown gets it up court.
Great turnaround here. The press has helped. Tim Wells is mentioning the fact that they're holding our shirts, and that's slowing us down a little bit. Can't be picky, Tim. This is a Big East. What a terrific job he's done. His father, Hall of Fame coach, played for his dad at Potsdam, and then was an assistant under his dad at Iona, replaced him, and the next move here to Providence in his 6th year, one of the fine young coaches.
And now a Swedish sharpshooter, Chris Anron, has just come in. Here's a guy hitting over 48% threes, another of those pure shooters from Europe. Malik Brown dishes. Ball goes into the hands of Sheku Kaba, and here come the Friars. Lead to Anron.
You're right about one thing. Ryan Gomes needs more touches. Okafor now in the man-for-man, and Gomes will take him outside. Nice pass. What a nice pass.
So with the Providence Friars lead cut to 2, there's a timeout on the floor with 7:47 to play in the half. The UConn Huskies on an 8-0 run have cut a 10-point Providence lead down to 2. We're coming to you from the Hartford Civic Center. Don Criqui with Bucky Waters, Big East basketball. And it's time now for the Pontiac top performance of the week. And that was Denham Brown on Monday night on a 3-point win over Pitt, the Panthers' first loss, as Brown hit for 20 points.
He
on
came
67% shooting.
It was interesting. Jim Calhoun, he played horribly on Saturday at North Carolina. Just had a bad game. They came out to next practice. Jim Calhoun had him out of the starting lineup. Of course, it was only one practice on a Sunday, and then started him against Pitt. And as you have already pointed out, he went for 24 boards and just a great win where Pitt, always tough, made Connecticut play their game, and they were able to win.
And I think here, Bucky, the Friars are looking to set up 3-point attempts. Well, that's a 4-point attempt, but it rims out, and Okafor gets the ball back over to Gordon.
That might be a good idea to go back inside, get that ball in the hands of the big guy, Ryan Gomes.
Boone is stripped of the ball by Ryan Gomes, but then Gomes bounced the ball off the baseline of the court. As Douthit and Donnie McGrath come back in.
Penetration again. Ben Gordon up in the air. This time makes the connection. Boone can't finish.
In the middle, Okafor with a beautiful move, out fighting 2 Friars for the ball, and then he lays it in. And it's tied up as the Huskies on a 10-0 run have rallied back. And Welsh and the Friars want a timeout.
Been a game of streaks, no question. Look at that, 3 of them digging in there. Okafor with his great strength and presence, just kind of picking it off the deck. If those guys had stayed on that ball, we'd be fishing them out of the net right now. He was determined to get it in there. People on it or no. Been a game of rundowns, just incredible streaks. Providence up at 10 by 10 at one time, and then they missed 6 shots, and the Huskies made 3 in a row. It's all we expected.
Yeah, the Friars came in confident. They worked at the game. They really want to get out of an all-out running game, though, that the Oklahoma tried against the Connecticut Huskies, and Oklahoma was really ground into the ground when they came in undefeated in number 6 before being blown out by 27 by Connecticut. Gomes. Too much on the shot. Malik Brown rebounds.
That was over Okafor.
Steal by Douthit. Lead to Cody, pulling up. And it's a 2-point shot. His toe was on the line. That's the first field goal since the 11:32 mark. They have almost 5 minutes between field goals for the Friars.
They'll take that transition shot, especially Cote.
Okafor. Too much on the shot. Rebound tapped out by Cody. Lead to Kaba. Gordon steals the ball. And all-American play. As good as you can do it. The steal, then going in against a bigger defender.
It was a careless pass cross court, but the masked marble saw that one clearly. Picked it off in the flat and finished.
McGrath spins, turns around, and hits from 7 feet out and gives the Friars back a 2-point lead. Gomes looking to outlet it down court. McGrath to Gomes. To Douthit. Good shooting touch from away from the basket. Gomes gets the loose ball and banks it in. Tell you, the guy some years ago that you knew well and saw reminds me a lot of Ryan Gomes, Oscar Robertson, who I think was the greatest player ever.
Boy, that's arguable, but certainly he was the class of our era.
Well, if you added all his points, rebounds, and assists in his first 5 years in the NBA, he averaged a triple-double for 5 seasons.
We got talent here, Donald. Look at this.
Open look. Gomes out to McGrath. I'll tell you, Gomes passes as well as anything he does. Douthit misses it. Rebound to Boone, and he's fouled by Gomes.
There he is. Flash Gordon, Ben Gordon, the masked marble, you name it.
And Gomes leaves the floor with 2 personal fouls.
That's key. Just under 5 minutes to play. And neither one was a good foul. This could be break it open time for the Huskies. They're still staying packed in.
They went on a 10-0 run to tie the game at 22. Down low, Douthit doing a big job. He was a major force in the upset at Connecticut last year by the Friars. He's tipped a lot of balls and rebounded a lot.
I don't see an inside game right now for the Friars.
Well, they're denying the lane. There's no question. Tenacious man defense by the Huskies. Douthit. Unceremoniously rejected.
Chuck and duck.
Nearly a facial.
I tell you what, in my best days, I can't hit a 3-wood that hard. Okafor hits it with the screws. I mean, and there's Douthit going with that left hand. He's kind of ducking under. He sees it coming. He's just lucky to get out of the way.
And good defense by the Huskies forces actually they turned it over, but before they did, the shot clock expired. So it goes back over to Connecticut.
One of the reasons that the Friars play so much zone is to protect. And I don't know, it's become an offensive weapon. It also covers Gomes a little bit in terms of being attacked defensively. And without him in the game, they are seriously impaired offensively.
They really are. He's the glue. He's the leader. Top scorer, top rebounder. Anderson down low, and it is waved off. Okafor might have gotten the drop, but the freshman Villanueva went up and tossed it over the cylinders. So the basket is negated. Providence holds to a 4-point lead and gets the ball with 3 minutes and 42 seconds left to play in the first half. Emeka Okafor on the bench. Brief timeout. He has a 6-point scoring number so far today. Gomes, the leading scorer, with 13. He should have had 8. This looked like it would have dropped if we watched this replay.
Well, look at this interior passing. Talik Brown to Anderson, and then underneath. It looked like that ball would have been in, but Villanueva gets his hand in it. But that interior passing and penetration really has to disturb Tim Welsh. That's not supposed to happen when you're packing in that zone.
As we look now at the Guinness game summary, Providence shooting barely 35% to almost 47% for Connecticut, but the Friars, Bucky, have taken 10 more shots in the field. They have 31 shots.
Yeah, and a lot of them have been very good looks, and they just haven't gone down. That's a concern for the Huskies. So far, Connecticut not able to get this game in up-tempo. Look, we're in the 20s here with just 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go. It's kind of like a pit tempo.
Gomes back in the game. He's the leading scorer and rebounder in this game with 13 points and 6 rebounds for Providence. And 2 personal fouls.
Gomes on the floor with 2. Look for Connecticut to try to find him and challenge him.
The Friars led by as many as 10, 22-12, and now Brewington, the freshman, knocks it down.
Boy, he was only 6 for 24 before that shot, but he shot it with confidence. Oh!
There's a high percentage as a big Emeka overboard drops the hammer.
Boy, the Huskies aren't running, but their power game inside, when they can get it there, and it's been more frequent. The Friars not cutting off that inside game as they did earlier.
Long ball by Kaba. Missed it all. Here comes Talik Brown, always looking for the open man.
Good judgment that time by Talik.
Gordon. 2 tries. Okafor gets it back. 3 tries. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. So they go 0 for 3 on that sequence from the field. They'll have a chance to get 2 from the line.
You know, what's interesting on that, not only is Okafor king above the square, but he's picking them up off the floor now and getting them back in. That's how intense, that's how agile, that's how quick he is in that lane.
They say the one area he's not good at is passing the ball.
He's getting a little better now, but it's not one of his strengths. That can come. That didn't look good at all.
He is only shooting 55% free throws this year. That's if the Huskies have an Achilles heel, it is free throw shooting. Shooting less than 61% as a team. And without Gordon's input, they're down in the 50s.
Well, your center, who's going to get fouled a lot, and your point guard, who are going to control the ball at the end of the game, really have to be good free throw shooters. That's the great insurance policy. Good teams make more free throws than their opponents shoot by putting pressure in those two areas: penetration and good post play.
Villanueva is taken out of the game now. His foul. And Shannon Tools comes in. Friars inbounding the ball. Gomes defended by Denham Brown. Tools also looking at him. Not a bad idea to put two guys on him.
Excellent. Make somebody else beat you. You know what he can do. Good job. Good job that time by Providence, staying with it and getting the touch to Ryan Gomes.
Ryan Gomes indeed has the touch. He scored 15 points so far today. Gordon drives. Rebound to Gomes. How good is this guy? Gomes. He is fantastic. He is absolutely a sensation, Ryan Gomes. And he's a junior.
Huskies right now losing their poise a little bit. Again, Ben Gordon getting in the middle of his own, jumping up and trying to figure out what to do. You got to respect this defense by Providence. It's good.
It really is. It's forcing turnovers, denying second shots. Friars led by 10, 22-12. Connecticut rallied to tie it at 22 all. Now that driving move to the basket by Okafor makes it a 35-29 game. Connecticut down by 6.
And again, now Huskies extending the defense. Tools, the defender, trying to put the lid on Brewington. The Worcester Flash.
Brown getting that last basket, now has 6 points with 42 seconds to play in the half. Cody. Rebound Okafor. Down low to Gomes.
With Okafor, they don't double down. They leave him one-on-one.
And with Okafor on him, Gomes kicks the ball back out.
He's not stupid, Doc. He's a smart player. Both are juniors. Both expected to play their senior year, despite an incredible junior year for both. But that's a long way off. Let's enjoy them while we can.
Shot clock is off. We come down the stretch, a reject. Here's Cody firing just before the horn. And the half ends as the Providence Friars, who led by 10 points, then were tied, then led by 8, now go to the locker room with a 35-29 lead. Gomes with 17 points to lead Providence. Okafor leads the Huskies with 9. Back in a moment. To open the second half, a big factor in Providence building the halftime lead. The Friars turned the ball over only 4 times. Connecticut turned it over 10 times. Josh Boone is fouled before he heads to the basket.
Personal foul situation for the Friars. Gomes has 2. That's major. Douthit 2 and Kaba 2. For Connecticut, no problem. Nobody has. The only 2 is Charlie Villanueva in a very brief appearance.
Yeah, he had that one basket interference on the shot by Okafor that looked like it was going through.
He had 6 minutes.
Villanueva, freshman, averaging almost 13 points a game. Down low they go to, and a reject of Okafor. And he gets the loose ball, though, and Emeka Okafor now with 11 points. And the Huskies down by 4.
That pass into the post to Okafor, much too easy from the Friars' standpoint.
Points in the paint, a decided advantage for University of Connecticut.
Yeah, like 22-12.
Douthit rejected by Josh Boone.
They're not booing him. That's just an affectionate boo. When I first heard that on TV, I said, what are you booing the kid for?
They've got Okafor on Ryan Gomes now. They're trying to get somebody to alter his shots. As Gomes with 17 first half points, and he did it on 7 of 9 shooting from the field.
Ben Gordon only 2 for 6 in the first half.
McGrath pulls up, missed it all.
That's the way he started the first half, except the shots look pretty good. He got some iron in and out. Again, they got to stop opening the windows in here. That breeze is really affecting the three-point shooting.
McGrath only 2 for 7 from the field today, 4 points. Over the top, the skip pass goes to Denham Brown. The 2-3 Providence zone. Denying touches down low. Okafor pulling up. Couple of chances. Rebound to Gomes.
Oh, I thought Boone had that thing down. He was all over it.
And Tim Welsh getting set to put in another sharpshooter from the outside. Tuka Cody coming in, but a beautiful pivot play, and Gomes now has 19 points.
Again, that's one of those new dimensions to Ryan Gomes' game, using that left hand. He put on a clinic in the first half.
He did. George Blaney was saying before the game, Bucky, that he expands his game every year, Gomes. This year, he's brought the three-point shot into it. And Gordon's always had the three-point shot. And the lead is cut to 3 as Ben Gordon bombs.
The Huskies need Ben Gordon to step up. And I know he's given it his best shot, but he made some real errors in judgment in the first half. Again, trying to do too much, getting up in the air against a very tough Friar zone.
And here comes Tuka Cody into the game. And Douthit's going to get a break. He's going to sit down. Douthit, who had 9 blocks last year in Providence's upset of Connecticut at Storrs. Gomes defended well inside. Back outside, that three-point try by Gomes. Ryan Gomes continues to light it up. He now has 22 points. And the Friars again lead by 6 as they did at the half.
Across that back line. Talik Brown with a charge. Looks like the Huskies, Don, are getting a little anxious. Good shot of Coach Calhoun over there. He's getting a little anxious too. Unless the Huskies can get this press going and get an up and down tempo, they're going to struggle.
They've been struggling, and this is the guy who's absolutely owned the game so far, Ryan Gomes. Going down low against Okafor. What do you do here? Look at that. Didn't go in, but that's impressive, just getting it off.
I know, but that fake, there was a lot of lingerie in the lane. Boy, is he clever.
And as you said, he wasn't widely recruited out of Wilby High School in Waterbury.
Nope, just 2 schools. Siena under Paul Hewitt at that time, and Providence. He was 270 pounds and not much of a prospect. Look at him now.
We were talking to one pro scout before the game. Asked what you thought of Gomes. He said he might be a European player. I hope the scout doesn't send that report to his employer because he'll be dismissed.
Are you sure you went to the game? That's what I'd ask him if I was the general manager. Andy Katz is here from ESPN. He had a half. He said, "What do you think of Gomes?" And I just rolled my eyes. And as I said on the air, I said, we got 2 of the best juniors in the country here. And always we hear this concern about maybe they will be here, maybe they won't. Let's just enjoy these 2 guys. Okafor, Gomes, what talents.
Ryan Gomes gets his 3rd personal foul, so he has a difficulty now with 16:27 to go. Here's Okafor. Well executed play by the Huskies. And Okafor has 13.
Yeah, Okafor made a little room for himself with just a gentle Husky nudge there. That's called gamesmanship in the paint.
Cody looking for the cutters. Boone denying him the three-point looks, which is Cody's specialty. Here's a dish out.
Cody only 1 for 6 in the first half, but he gives him a presence out there. He had 2 assists, knows how to play.
Haba with a long ball. Okafor rebounds. Outlets to Talik Brown. Here come the Huskies. Ben Gordon. Talking about great juniors. There's another one. Okafor offensive board.
And the pass.
Boone is fouled inside. He'll shoot 2.
Unfortunately, free throws not one of his strengths. Look at Okafor. Draw a crowd. Nice bounce pass. When you're going to feed the post, and Okafor ought to know, you throw it high or you give a bounce pass. You don't throw a same plain pass. Unfortunately, Josh Boone, 40% from the line. The Mount Airy freshman, Mount Airy, Maryland freshman, has been a real surprise. 17 games, 17 starts.
Yeah, he jumped right in, has been a contributor in the last 2 games. He has scored 10 points in each of the last 2 games. He has just 4 today, but as you mentioned, Bucky, a 40% free throw shooter. A lot of moving parts in that delivery.
Sure are. They got time to work on that.
In the meantime, it can be expensive. A starter shooting 40% from the line.
This is the tempo that Tim Welsh wants. Work the defense, move it, and get the ball to that guy. I'd give him cell phones and call him.
This is a real tour de force. This game for Ryan Gomes. Cody with the offensive rebound. Out to McGrath.
When Okafor comes out to play Gomes, it opens up some offensive rebounding opportunities for the Friars.
Here comes Ben Gordon leading to Talik Brown. And the guards work it beautifully. 8 points now for Brown, and it is a 40-38 game. The Friars lead cut to 2. The Huskies with another run.
Boy, when you miss, the Huskies run it right down your throat.
This building erupted on those fast break points.
It's their signature. Intense D and run the floor.
Gomes gets it up against Okafor. Giving away height. He's 6'7", Ryan Gomes, but so quick and so deft shooting the ball off the spin move. Denham Brown launches, can't get it to go. Josh Boone puts it back up, and cleaning it all up is Okafor. It is again a 2-point game, Providence.
How about this for a Saturday afternoon? We got a classic here, Donald.
Tremendous. A long way to go. Gomes on the floor with the ball, playing with 3 personal fouls.
That may limit his moves to the basket.
Gomes spins off. Rebound knocked around, and the freshman Brewington gets the ball. McGrath under and up and down in the 4-point lead for Providence.
Boy, that took guts by McGrath with Boone and Okafor just, you know, salivating there on the boxes. He just managed to get that through the skyscrapers.
Providence, Bucky, with a big advantage in offensive rebounds.
11-5, like a 2-1.
Ball knocked out to Talik Brown into the paint, dishing it off the hands of the freshman, but then they ruled that a Friar got a piece of the ball. So we'll be back inbounds after the break to the UConn Huskies. Good lead from Ben Gordon to Talik Brown. 4-point game, Friars. Providence 44. Number 4 Connecticut 40. 13:09 to play at Hartford.
Part of the storyline, we talked about the 3-point shooting and whether or not that mask would affect Ben Gordon's shooting. Well, he was 3 for 8 in the first half, only 1 for 3 from 3. But both teams, every shot's contested. And of course, it has been, this is your life. Ryan Gomes, he has done it from everywhere.
Shooting the Rock is brought to you by Rolling Rock Beer. Grab a rock, but the overall 3-point shooting has been dismal because of that good defense you mentioned, Bucky. The Friars with 1 of 5 are there, 3 of 14 on 3-point shooting. And the Huskies are 1 of 5. Ryan Gomes has been the difference maker in this game with 24 points, as you see, on 10 of 16 field goal shooting, 10 rebounds.
How's that for a substitution?
Yeah, Rashad comes in and bangs one. Rashad Anderson.
Nice move, Tim Calhoun. Right out of the timeout. Give him the ball. Bam!
Connecticut gets a lot of good looks off the inbounds plays underneath their basket.
1-4 set now by the Friars. You can bet they're going to try to keep the Huskies on D for a long time. Okafor now with the matchup against Gomes.
Here's Brewington, the freshman. Picked up by Douthit. Out to Gomes. 3-point try. Rebound. Comes down to Hilton Armstrong in the game.
That was a good possession for Providence. They took it under 5 on the shot clock, and the franchise ended up with the shot.
And they can go big coming off the bench, Connecticut. Hilton Armstrong with the ball is 6'11". Gomes with another rebound. 2-point lead for the Friars. 11 rebounds for Ryan Gomes. 24 points. And now in a hitch move before he kicked the ball out, they get him on a travel. First mistake I think he's made this week.
I looked over right in my line of vision. Tim Welsh, when he put it on the floor and was going for the basket, the look on his face was, please don't charge. And he got his wish. He didn't charge, but I don't know about that turnover.
Because Gomes is playing with 3 personal fouls. And now will the Friars with a 2-point lead try to work some clock, maybe shorten the game some on the road.
Well, they did the last time. Did a nice job. It was 76-70 when they won in Stores last year. Nah, I didn't need that shot.
Huskies come away with it. Here comes Talik Brown. Ben Gordon sees the lane. Down to Hilton Armstrong, and the sophomore from Peekskill, New York, ties the game.
Big difference. Ben Gordon didn't leave the floor, kept his feet on the floor, was under control, made a nice play.
And again, the Hartford Civic Center is rocking. Sold out. The freshman, Brewington. And he gives a 2-point lead to the Friars, and Brewington has 8 points.
He's from Worcester, and speaking of Worcester, the Wizard of Worcester, Mass, D. Rowe, is recovering from surgery, doing very well. He's not here today. I saw him yesterday. All of these friends should be very happy.
One of the great names in Connecticut basketball, D. Rowe. Everybody wishes D the very best. And here is a lead to Gomes, from Gomes to Douthit. And it takes a roll around the rim and drops through, and it's a 4-point lead for Providence.
Again, Gomes with those 3 fouls. Didn't go barreling down in there. He was under control. I think Douthit shot it with his wrist, though. He has not been a great finisher today. He's tickling them in around the rim. I think you can attribute that to Okafor.
Beautiful inside move by Okafor, who has 17, and again brings the Huskies to within 2.
10 minutes to go.
Half-court basketball practice this week for Providence. We're to keep the ball in the half-court game as much as you could. They don't want to get in an all-out running game with this very fast, athletic Connecticut team. Cody has not been able to hit from the outside. Gordon way off mark. Might have been partially tipped by Brewington.
I think he got a piece. Sure did.
9.5 to go.
Brewington, only a freshman, getting that added playing time because of Rob Sanders' injury. Sanders, of course, second leading scorer, great athlete, will be back next Sunday when they take on Seton Hall.
And he is arguably the second best player on the Providence team, Rob Sanders. Cody. Can't get it to go. The big guy, Hilton Armstrong, sweeps down the board.
Cody getting awfully good looks. Just can't drain it.
They got a guy out there who can.
Oh.
The 3 gives the Huskies the lead. First lead since the 15-minute mark of the first half. Rashad Anderson stroking 2 threes off the bench. And Connecticut roars back. Huskies have trailed by as many as 10 earlier in this game. The Huskies of Connecticut have rallied back and taken a 1-point lead with 8:47 to go. Don Criqui with Bucky Waters at the Hartford Civic Center. Here is Rashad Anderson getting a look outside. They leave him open, and boom, he hits twice from the arc.
Jim Calhoun went to his bullpen, and the bullpen delivered. Rashad, this one rattles a little. That first one was clean as a whistle.
The big point producers in the game have been Ryan Gomes of Providence, who has 24 points and 12 rebounds. Emeka Okafor has 17 points and 12 rebounds for the Huskies.
Amazingly, Ryan Gomes did not make the preseason All Big East team.
He'll be making a postseason All Big East team.
Amen and amen.
Here's Brewington, the 6'5" freshman, a very under control player. Does not make mistakes. Galpin has the ball stripped. Here comes Talik Brown. All the way, end to end, a reject underneath. And who's the foul line?
They didn't even double team Dalton in there. Tim Welsh concerned.
John Gomes. Gomes has 4.
What's he going to do?
We're going to find out after Talik Brown shoots the free throws. Brown, the senior who started all 4 years at the point for Connecticut, is only a 52% free throw shooter. And in Big East play this season, he's been shooting 59% field goals. Gomes goes to the bench.
None of his fouls were really good fouls. Just the enthusiasm of a competitor trying to come back and bail his team out. But Connecticut better make hay while Gomes is sitting, because he ain't going to be there long.
And now the Friars have to make big adjustments without Gomes. Back to the Hartford Civic Center, where the UConn Huskies have won the last 19 times they've played here. They've been in trouble today, down by 10 in the first half, 22-12. They were down by 6 at halftime, and by 6 in the second half a number of times, and then they rally back.
That's a good shot on the bench with the headband on. Rob Sanders, second leading scorer, and a guy that they miss dearly. Broken fingers in the shooting hand. He will be available next Sunday. This Providence team, he was part of the turnaround. Providence was 3-7 last year, and they went to Sanders in the starting lineup, went to the zone, and they won 8 out of 11, and they were like 12-3 this year. So he's a huge part of that renaissance, and he'll be back next week.
As Cody kicks it out, yes, Sanders sitting 57% from the field, and now a long ball struck down by Sheku Kaba, and the Friars come back and take a 1-point lead.
A Kaba basket, as you pointed out, he's the barometer for his team. If he scores in double figures, the Friars usually win, and that was a tough shot. He had his tonsils checked.
Those were the first points of this day for Kaba, but now he gets a steal. So with Ryan Gomes on the bench with 4 personals, the Friars will run their half-court offense and try to shorten this game. McGrath has struggled shooting the ball. Here is Anren, the Swedish sharpshooter, hasn't had a look today.
Boy, you look up spot-up shooter in the dictionary, and that's who you see. Chris Anren.
Dalpit has the ball knocked over. I'll fight for the ball. Talik Brown wins the battle on the floor, and here come the Huskies down by 1.
Dalpit's had some big games for the Friars this year, but so far in this half, he's been a walking turnover. I wouldn't go to him.
And Denham got the ball, but he did step on the baseline of the court. So the ball is back over to the Friars when we come back to Hartford. Welcome back to Hartford. It's a 1-point game. Providence, Connecticut did take back the lead in the second half, as now we look at the ultimate drive of the game, brought to you by BMW.
The Huskies are running. Talik Brown finishes. Talik with 3 for 5 from the floor today, 9 points. The pass was from Ben Gordon, and he has 7 assists. He has not scored well today. He's made more miscues than usual, but he's picking up the slack with 7 assists. The Huskies, number 4 in the country, fighting for their life and first place in the Big East.
They've lost twice, to Georgia Tech in November at Madison Square Garden, then at North Carolina have the Huskies.
What a great comeback win that was, after losing in Chapel Hill on Saturday, to come back and take on tough Pitt.
Anren gets a look, but doesn't make anything of it. Here come the Huskies. Long pass up court to Talik Brown. Game clock down to 6:45. The Huskies have rallied in this game. They've been down most of the game. The whole state of Connecticut rallies behind University of Connecticut basketball, men's and women's. Here's a steal by Cody. And the ball is slapped out of bounds by Villanueva. He also got a little piece of McGrath.
I'll tell you, you go down in that paint, you better have a tetanus shot. These two teams are competitive.
Tim Welsh might get bitten down there.
Yeah. Tim Welsh calls this team mature and focused. I mean, think about it. Look at the teams they beat this year. Alabama, Illinois, at Virginia, at Richmond. That win looks a little better, too, since Richmond went to Kansas and won.
And in about a week, they get one of their best players back. Rob Sanders out with the fractured fingers. Here's Cody. He's kind of looked away from taking a shot now, Bucky, I think. Looking to pass. Here's an open look. McGrath. Rebound to Villanueva. And the Huskies with a chance to take back the lead, down by 1.
All of this without Ryan Gomes. He hasn't stirred yet on that bench. I guess Tim's feeling as long as I got a lead, I'm going to nurse it.
Well, when he comes back in playing with 4, that pretty much takes his tight defense away. Anderson, who's hit 2 threes, can't get that to go. Control break now. McGrath pulls up. Now Cody almost walked with the ball.
Yeah, there's no offense out there right now. None.
Not from Cody to Ridden. I think these big defenders for Connecticut have taken away his shooting confidence. There's a long ball. Sheku Kaba with a second 3, 2 of them in the second half for his 6 points on the day.
Kaba gave me a dirty look. I just made that mention about no offense. He gave me a dirty look when he hit that second 3.
And here's like a cat. Here is a driving shot. And Gordon, the Phantom, drive to the basket. 2-point game. Cody, the big doll, the freshman defender, Villanueva's on him. Long ball, and Anron strikes. Jim Calhoun's upset about something. With something with his players. That's the way they're playing defense, giving Anron the open look. Now let's take a look at the Advanced Auto Parts upcoming schedule. This is the 4th game, 4th of 5 in 10 days for the Providence Friars. Here's what they have coming up.
Georgetown again. Georgetown a bit of an enigma this year, up and down, but I'll tell you, they're playing Duke today at home in Washington. One of the best games in Cameron Indoor Stadium last year was Georgetown really took them to the wire.
And there's the Huskies' upcoming schedule at Virginia Tech, at Boston College. Tell you, this big guy for Boston College, Craig Smith, he's averaging 24.5 points a game in Big East play. Here comes Talik Brown. Huskies down by 5 on a court where they've won 19 straight games.
Okafor hasn't touched it for a while, guys.
They get it down low to him now, and Okafor goes up and under and gets it down and cuts the.
Hey, I might make a comeback in coaching, Don. That was pretty good.
They must be hearing you. 19 points for Okafor. Villanueva giving Cody no looks in the outside. Here's McGrath. Time becoming a factor. In and out, but Dalpit's down with a rebound. New shot clock, but he's not going to use it. He's going to try to go to the basket but lose the ball. And Ben Gordon just saves it in front of the Providence bench.
Friars having to overcome Dalpit. I mean, he's a turnover machine.
Over the top goes the skip pass. Rashad Anderson lays it up. Gordon can't lose McGrath with the fake. Brown to Villanueva. Beautiful on low, but Cody rejects. And McGrath comes up with the ball.
What a great block by Cody. That one, 8 out of 10 times, that's a foul, and I think he got it clean.
And here with 3:22 left to go in the game, Bucky, comes the man who leads the way for the Friars, Ryan Gomes, with 4 personal fouls. Comes back on the floor.
The franchise returns, and he comes back. I didn't really calculate how long he was out. It must have been about 5-6 minutes. And Providence amazingly still has a 3-point lead with 3:22 to go. That is a real credit to the Providence bench and the coaching staff that they've kept that thing together without the main man.
Big East basketball at its best. Every possession is a battle, and it will even heat up more down the stretch with 3:22 to play. The Friars of Providence College, who lost 2 close games to Rutgers and Texas, and Coach Tim Welsh said that was gut check time. He said it was like the sky was falling in. We were going to find out what we're made of. What they found out is they went on a 4-game winning streak, and this would be 5 in a row. They did win on the road against UConn last year, so they came in confident they could maybe pull off another upset, but we've got a long way to go. Providence by 3 and with the ball.
Okafor's got the matchup with Ryan Gomes. He just lets the game come to him.
Gomes defended by Okafor. Cody to McGrath. There's very few 3-point looks in this game for either team.
Well, that's the advantage of the tough defense. Oh, wide open.
Ryan Gomes with a beautiful backdoor look as he kicks the ball down low. And all of a sudden, Kaba with 8 points in the second half has been a difference maker.
That was a great baseline pass. Left-handed, might add.
Connecticut getting denied down low looks. They're doubling up on Okafor down low. 2-3 zone. Here's Cody on a breakaway. And he extends the Friars lead to 61-54 with 2:21 to play.
That breakaway by Cody just sucked the oxygen right out of the Hartford Civic Center. The Huskies got their work cut out for them now. Down 7, 2:20 to go. But they've got the defense and the athletes to do it. There's Gordon with the cross-court pass. Picked off. An exclamation point.
Cody has struggled, though, today. He is 2 of 10 from the field, 20%. At last, the breakaway layup. It's time now for the Cooper Tire Defensive Player of the game. Emeka Okafor, the big eraser.
The Minister of Defense. Return the sender.
Yeah, he very nearly knocked one up at about row 25. Slapping one back, but now every possession is vital for the Huskies. Down by 7 with just 2:14 to play. Foul call at the Providence end will be against the Friars, and the Huskies will go to the line.
One of the things the team down 7 with 2 minutes and change wants to do is get to the line with the clock stopped, but they don't shoot free throws well.
This ESPN Plus Big East basketball game has been brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine, and by Guinness Draft Stout, enjoyed responsibly the world over. We're back at the Hartford Civic Center. Don Criqui with Bucky Waters down the stretch run of this Big East Classic. And now it is Providence trying to hold to a 7-point lead. The Friars have consistently built leads. Connecticut has consistently come back in this game. Connecticut has beaten Providence 9 of their last 11 meetings. Sheku Kaba, number 13, has been a big factor for the Providence run in the second half. He scored all 8 of his points in the second half, hitting 2 of 2 threes.
Coming out of the timeout, Jim Calhoun takes Gordon out of the lineup. And he only has 1 foul, so he must be concerned about that mask and a mistake. Hard to figure him not being there, but I know there's a good reason.
And he's got his long-range shooters in. Rashad Anderson, who's hit 2 threes, is in. Now Talik Brown dishes down low to Denham Brown. And here is a long lead down court to Sheku Kaba, who lays it in, and the Friars open up a 9-point lead with 1:40 to go. 17 fast break points for Providence, just 8 for Connecticut.
Providence with only 6 turnovers all day. Now you think about that against Jim Calhoun's signature pressure man for man, and you have played yourself a ball game on the road, and that's what the Friars have done.
Let's take a look now at the Ameritrade scoreboard. North Carolina with a substantial 18-point advantage over Virginia in the second half at Chapel Hill. Number 20, Mississippi State, leading Georgia in the first half. Southeastern Conference play. Our producer today for ESPN Plus is Bill Schisler. Our director, Bob Frateroli. Associate director, Tom Clark. As Marcus Douthit, who has not scored a lot, but he's been a big factor. Douthit so far today has just 6 points, 7 rebounds, but he's been changing shots inside with his defense. Providence right now in a 9-2 run in the last 3:30.
Friars right now not wanting to commit any fouls.
Douthit rebounds and finally gets some help from McGrath. And now the Friars totally in command of the game. Ryan Gomes playing with 4 fouls as they just play keep away at this point, running the shot clock down. It still has 18 on it. And Connecticut has to foul as Talik Brown fouls Jaku Kaba, and he goes to the line.
Connecticut needs to foul quicker. 1:09. They got to try one trap, one attempt to steal, and send them to the line.
McGrath. And he is fouled by the freshman Josh Boone. That'll send McGrath to the free throw line. But whenever we come to Connecticut, though, you have to marvel at the fan support here. There's over 90,000 University of Connecticut alums living in the state. And I think they all go to the games. Well, everything's sold out, men and women. And for the big game against Oklahoma, against the number 6 team at the time, undefeated, people, kids, students at Connecticut with tickets slept out in tents in 0-degree weather just to get the first crack at the best seats.
No question.
That's dedication.
Yeah, that's especially out in tents in this weather. Man, I'm glad we're playing indoors. Looking back now at Rutgers, they lost that heartbreaker. The Friars lost that heartbreaker to Texas with a malfunctioning clock, which amazed me because the home team normally gets the break there. But then they go to Rutgers. They're up 5 with 15 seconds to go. Rutgers hits 2 threes in the last 10 seconds. What a way to lose back-to-back. As Tim told you, we were devastated. And the Providence response to that double dip of tragedy has been to come back big time. And they're on the threshold here of taking over first place in the Big East and going 2 straight wins over Connecticut on the road.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Providence really rolling. The top 4 teams, in the opinion of most in the Big East, all in action against each other today. Later today, it'll be Pittsburgh playing at Syracuse. And that's should be a tremendous game. Connecticut coming in 3-0 in the Big East. 15-2 overall. Pittsburgh is 4-1 in Big East play, 18-1 overall. Syracuse 3-1, Providence 3-1. The Friars soon to be 4-1. About to hand Connecticut their first conference loss of the season. Miami, it should be noted, is also 3-1 in Big East play. Jaku Kaba, who delivered a big effort in the second half, misses the free throw. Here come the Huskies. Need a launch. Rashad Anderson can do that. Rebound to McGrath. And he is fouled, and that'll send Donnie McGrath, the sophomore guard who has started every game of his Providence career. Started every game last year as a freshman, every game now as a sophomore, going to the free throw line where he shoots 65%.
In Tim Welsh's career, 6 times he's beaten a nationally top 25 ranked team. This is the first time he's ever beaten one in the top 5. The number 4 Huskies today just never got it going early, and it's one of those times when they didn't get the good start. And boy, once the Friars get ahead of you with that tough zone, it's virtually impossible to catch them unless you've got great 3-point shooting, and Connecticut didn't have it today.
No, they did not. Here's a long launch. This is for Providence, their first win on the road against a top 10 team in 14 years. Last one was against Syracuse at the Carrier Dome back in January of '90. A 2-point goal makes it an 8-point game. Lead to Gomes, and he puts the exclamation point on one of Providence's most important wins in a long time.
Yeah, and under tough circumstances. It's only January, but this one had all the earmarks of a Eastern Regional or a Big East Tournament championship game. Great quality.
It really was. Ryan Gomes, a difference maker, with 26 points to lead all scorers. He had 12 rebounds. We'll be back to Hartford in a moment. We're back at the Hartford Civic Center, where Providence has just upset Connecticut 66-56, and here's Bucky Waters.
What a victory over a top, not just top 5. These guys were number 4 on the road, 2 in a row over Connecticut. Explain it to me.
Well, everyone knows how much respect we have for the UConn program, and I have for Jim Calhoun. And, you know, to come in here and win on the road tells a lot about our kids. I mean, we have a confident bunch. We're a veteran group. We were fortunate enough to win here last year, so it wasn't like we thought that we couldn't do it. We had done it once before, although that doesn't mean much once you start playing. You got to go play, and our guys really played hard tonight.
Without Rob Sanders, take us through that back-to-back heartbreaking losses to Texas and then at Rutgers.
I've forgotten about those, Bucky. You know, those seemed like 2 years ago. You know, the great thing, though, is our kids persevered. They didn't let that get them down. They kept working hard and knew that the season, there was a lot of season left, and we talked about that, and today was a huge one for us.
All right, what about this guy on my right, Ryan Gomes? You know, he didn't make the Big East preseason all-tournament team.
I'm just wondering how this guy didn't get invited to the USA basketball. Somebody's got to be kidding me. I mean, he's the best.
He put on a clinic today. Ryan Gomes, my congratulations, young man. I don't know all the stats we had. The only thing we weren't sure of is how many programs you sold. I mean, you did everything else. Was it fun?
Yeah, it was fun. You know, coming here and get the win against a good team. Like you said, there was ranked 4. So it feels good to come here and get a win. You know, we've been working hard all season, you know, trying to be one of the top teams in the country. So this is the beginning.
I was trying to be funny talking about you're not making the preseason all Big East team. But what is the clue to why you keep improving? Every game out, you show us something different.
Well, I just have to credit my teammates, you know, and Coach Welch here for giving me the confidence that I need to go out here and play every day. And that's all I got to give credit to them. I work hard over the summer just for days like this, and I'm just happy that we keep winning games.
Well, the passing and the use of the left hand and the three-point, you just keep extending your game. You're very confident at the line now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm very confident. You got to be. You can't think you're not good enough. You know what I mean? So you got to stay confident. You know, keep getting better.
Was it my eyes, or were you nudging Coach Welch here when you were sitting down with 4 fouls? By the way, they weren't very good fouls.
Well, yeah, I mean, I reached in a few times, but, you know, the refs called it good. But, you know, I have to also credit my teammates. You know, I was on the bench for a few minutes, and Kaba, McGrath, Cody, Marcus Dowd stepped up. So this is a team effort and a team win.
It sure was, and you're a heck of a player.
Thank you.
Don Criqui, I had a great afternoon. How about you? And I know the Friars did, too.
Well, they certainly did. It's a victory to be proud of. Unbelievable. We'll be coming back to the Hartford Civic Center in a moment, as Providence on the road has again beaten Connecticut for a second straight year in a row, 66-56. More after this. We're back at the Hartford Civic Center, where Providence has just upset Connecticut 66-56. And now let's take a look at the Ameritrade scoreboard. We have North Carolina prevailing big time over Virginia in ACC play. And in the Southeastern Conference at halftime, Mississippi State, the Bulldogs leading the Dogs.
Yeah, there's an early score, 5-2, and they've gone to their bullpen.
And some top 25 scores. It could be a shakeup this week. A lot of basketball still to be played, though, Bucky, as we look at how the USA coaches poll looks this week. With Stanford, that's a very high ranking. Stanford often has trouble when they get to the tournament and gets in against the physical teams from the Big East and the Big Ten.
Yeah, Duke's at the Hoyas of Georgetown as we speak. Connecticut's surely going to drop. Cincinnati got hammered by Louisville. Wake Forest lost another one. Pitt trying to rebound from that loss to Connecticut here last Saturday. Goes to the Dome and takes on Boeheim and his crew.
A very big game tonight at the Carrier Dome. The Pitt Panthers against the Orangemen of Syracuse. As the top teams in the Big East seem to be identifying themselves. Surely they are. Connecticut, Pittsburgh, Syracuse, and Providence by all means. Oklahoma found out how good Connecticut is. They were beaten by 27 at Storrs, held a 27% shooting in that game. But for Tim Welsh, one of his biggest games, I'd have to think, one of his biggest wins.
Oh, yeah, on the road against the number 4 team, first place in the Big East, and again, under the conditions of a couple of tough losses and their second leading scorer. They've got to look at the end of this season with great envy.
This has been a presentation of ESPN Plus, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports television. Don Criqui for Bucky Waters. Thanks for joining us.